There's a limit to what a planet can provide. Coal runs out. Uranium is finite. Fusion, even if mastered, is bounded by local supply. But every civilization, no matter how advanced, lives beneath a star. And a star pours out energy in staggering abundance. Every second, our sun releases more power than humanity has consumed in its entire history. Most of that energy radiates uselessly into space, uncollected, unharvested, unclaimed. The question is inevitable. What if an advanced civilization decided not to settle for a fraction of that power, but all of it? The idea has a name: Dyson sphere. It was proposed in 1960 by physicist Freeman Dyson, not as a rigid shell encasing a star, but as a thought experiment. If a civilization's energy demands continue to grow, it might eventually build structures around its star to capture a significant percentage of its output. Not a solid sphere, but a swarm, a cloud of orbiting collectors, a halo of engineered worlds. The underlying logic is simple. Energy availability defines capability. A civilization confined to its planet draws from chemical reactions, fission, perhaps fusion. But one that harnesses its entire star operates on a different scale entirely. Astrophysicist Nikolai Kardashev formalized this idea into a scale of technological advancement. A Type 1 civilization controls the energy of its planet. Type 2 controls the energy of its star. Type 3 commands the energy of its galaxy. A Dyson sphere, or more accurately, a Dyson swarm, is the signature of Type 2. But could it be the ultimate energy solution? In raw numbers, the answer is overwhelming. The Sun emits roughly 3.8 times 10 superscript 2 watts of power. Humanity's global consumption hovers around 10 superscript 1 superscript 3 watts. We use a tiny fraction, less than a billionth, of what flows past Earth every moment. Capturing even a small percentage of stellar output would redefine industry, computation, space travel, and planetary engineering. It would make fusion trivial. It would make antimatter production practical. It would make terraforming routine. But scale introduces consequence. A rigid, solid shell around a star, often depicted in science fiction, is physically implausible. The stresses would exceed the strength of known materials. The structure would be gravitationally unstable. Any slight imbalance would cause catastrophic drift. Dyson himself did not imagine a shell. He imagined countless satellites, solar collectors orbiting independently, transmitting energy inward or outward. A swarm avoids structural collapse, but it introduces coordination complexity. Millions, billions, trillions of units, each in precise orbit, each maintained against micrometeoroids, radiation, and gravitational perturbations. This is not a project. It is an ecosystem of machines. And yet, physics does not forbid it. Orbital mechanics allows stable configurations. Energy transmission via lasers or microwaves is feasible in principle. Materials could be mined from asteroids or dismantled planets. The resource requirements are immense. Mercury alone contains enough material to construct vast arrays of collectors. Some have speculated that an advanced civilization might disassemble inner planets entirely to feed the construction of a stellar swarm. Energy begets capability. Capability begets expansion. But energy also generates heat. This is the unavoidable law of thermodynamics. No matter how advanced a civilization becomes, it cannot escape entropy. Captured stellar energy must eventually be used, and after use, degraded into waste heat. A Dyson swarm would absorb visible light from its star and re-radiate energy at longer, infrared wavelengths. From afar, such a system would appear dim in visible light and bright in infrared. This insight transformed Dyson spheres from engineering speculation into an astronomical search strategy. If advanced civilizations build them, we might detect their waste heat. We have looked. Infrared sky surveys have scanned millions of stars for anomalous signatures, stars that appear faint optically but luminous in mid-infrared. So far, no confirmed Dyson spheres have been found. The silence is informative. Either Type 2 civilizations are rare, or they do not build such megastructures, or perhaps they choose subtler methods. Energy efficiency may plateau. A civilization might transition from expansion to optimization, using computation-efficient substrates, minimizing waste heat, or migrating to colder regions of space where thermodynamic gradients are more favorable. Some theoretical models suggest that the ultimate computational efficiency occurs near absolute zero, far from stars. In that scenario, enveloping a star might not be optimal. It might be primitive. But consider the intermediate stage. Before transcending matter, before converting mass into pure computation, there is a phase where energy demand grows exponentially. Artificial intelligence at planetary scale, interstellar propulsion, matter rearranged into megastructures. A Dyson swarm becomes not extravagance, but necessity. With stellar-scale energy, interstellar travel shifts from dream to engineering. Light sails propelled by focus beams. Relativistic probes launched without draining planetary reserves. Entire habitats constructed and moved between systems. Energy is freedom, but freedom at that scale risks visibility. A civilization harvesting most of its star's light announces itself cosmically. It alters its star's spectrum. It changes its brightness profile. It becomes detectable across thousands of light years, unless it does not wish to be seen. The Fermi paradox lingers here. If advanced civilizations exist and seek energy, where are their stars wrapped in collectors? Why does the sky not glow with infrared excess? Perhaps most civilizations self-destruct before reaching Type 2. Perhaps sustainability replaces expansion. Perhaps intelligence does not correlate with endless energy growth. Or perhaps our search methods are insufficient, our instruments too crude to detect subtle megastructures partially obscuring their stars. A full Dyson sphere may be unnecessary. Even capturing a few percent of stellar output would dwarf planetary resources. And yet, ambition escalates. Once the capability exists, limits blur. Could Dyson spheres be the ultimate energy solution? They are ultimate only in scale, not in finality. A star is finite. It burns hydrogen into helium. Eventually it evolves, swells, transforms. A civilization dependent on a single star remains bound to stellar evolution. True ultimate energy would require mobility, harvesting from multiple stars, migrating as they age, perhaps tapping into black hole accretion disks or exploiting exotic physics we barely comprehend. A Dyson swarm is not the end state. It is a milestone, a declaration that a civilization has chosen to harness rather than merely inhabit. There is also the question of risk. Concentrating infrastructure around a star introduces vulnerability. Stellar flares, instabilities, collisions between collectors, cascading orbital debris. Maintenance becomes perpetual. Energy abundance does not eliminate fragility. It amplifies stakes. Still, the concept endures because it stretches imagination to its limit. It asks whether intelligence inevitably seeks growth or whether maturity lies in restraint. Would we, given the means, dismantle planets to build a halo around our sun? Would we darken our sky slightly, trading blue daylight for filtered glow? Would we accept the astronomical visibility of such ambition? A Dyson sphere is not just an engineering problem, it is a philosophical one. It reflects how a civilization defines success, infinite expansion, or elegant sufficiency. For now, humanity remains far from Type 1, let alone Type 2. Our solar panels cover deserts and rooftops, not orbital paths. Our satellites sip energy compared to what a swarm would command. But the sun continues to radiate, uninterrupted, unharvested at scale, a reminder of potential unrealized. Perhaps one day, long after nations dissolve and technologies evolve beyond recognition, descendants will begin assembling collectors in solar orbit. A few at first, then thousands, then millions. Gradually, the sun's visible brightness will diminish, not because it fades, but because it is captured. From distant systems, astronomers, human or otherwise, might observe our star and wonder, why is it dimmer than expected? Why does it glow in infrared? Is someone there? A Dyson sphere would not merely solve energy scarcity. It would mark a civilization's arrival on the cosmic stage. Whether that stage is meant to be occupied or quietly observed remains uncertain. But the possibility endures. A star is an ocean of power. The question is not whether it can be harvested. The question is whether we will ever decide that we need to.